So yeah, so then we can wait for people to join for a sec.
Sounds good.
Cheers.
You can spend your own money on yourself. And when you spend your own money on yourself, you're very careful of what you spend it on, and you make sure that you get the most for your dollar. You can spend your own money on somebody else. You give gifts to other people. You take people out to dinner. And when you spend your own money on somebody else, you're very careful that you don't spend too much. You try to keep down the amount you spend, but you don't worry very much about what the other fellow's getting from it. You don't pay anything like as much attention to the gifts you buy for other people as to the things you buy for yourself. Or you can spend somebody else's money, as when you're spending the government's money. I say the government's money, the taxpayers' money, which the government has control over. Now you're spending somebody else's money. Let's say you're spending your boss's money. You're out to lunch on an expense account, but you're spending it on yourself. You're very careful that you get good things for your money. You try to have a good lunch and pick the right things, but you're not very much worried about whether you get the cheapest. Spend all you want, and you'll be careless. Now, what happens when you spend somebody else's money on somebody else? You're a distributor of welfare funds. Well, you're interested in making your own life as good as you can, and most people have humane instincts and want to do the best they can, but you're not going to be anything like as careful in spending somebody else's money on somebody else. So there are 4 ways in which you can spend money.
And that's it. I sort of precipitated a bit playing this, but I wanted to start with it. And hopefully we'll have Quasar joining in a bit. I think he wanted to add something about this. Apart from that, it's fairly self-explanatory, right? So Karin, any feedback, any input from you? Had you seen this kind of a presentation?
Yeah, I love Milton Friedman. I actually was just typing something up in chat. Similar concept from Javon's, William Javon's, who I like to cite about functions of money.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, I'm going to drop it on, copy it and drop it on the Miro board. And I'm going to start sharing the Miro board. Otherwise, I can't function in these calls. So bear with me a second. There we go. And so I'm just going to duplicate this box here and drop your text in there. So these are the typical functions of money, right? But they don't relate like one for one or anything of that sort with these 4 ways of spending money, right?
No, I think those are different concepts. It's what it reminded me of as soon as I saw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just gonna drop it here. Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Nice to see you here.
Howdy.
I'm just gonna drop the Google Meet link to someone because I thought, I'm not sure if he's gonna join. Chintama, I understand you also wanted to talk to us about something today, right? Maybe you can jump straight in and start sharing. Do you want to share your screen briefly or?
Sorry, do you say me or Gintama?
Chintama.
No, I just want to talk about real fee and about how Catalyst and how funding can be moved forward that I'm imagining that I shared previously. Okay, so just 10 seconds.
Be my guest.
Yeah. So is my voice clear? I hope so. Yeah. Okay. So I was telling that in the first meeting I shared about Real Fee. Right. It's a crowdsourcing platform, fundraising like Kickstarter that we have, and that they've been building for the past 1 year. The team, they they are Cardano devs, and they also won the recent hackathon in India, third place. So yeah, they're a capable team. What I wanted to share was that like as we move forward, that we have seen that Catalyst has not been a proper way to get funded. Right, like now, right now it's on pause, and a lot of problems are arising because people were kind of waiting for it. And after all these years, we have not yet found a PMF from Catalyst funding. Very rarely it has come, like out of thousands of proposal, either one or two have come out as a PMF for certain areas, right? So that's where for me RealFi comes in, where Reafino comes in, where people can put out their ideas, and they want to build a platform or a product protocol on Cardano. And for the initial stage, it can be crowdsourced, so that the builders know that okay, there's a
Sorry,
demand for
is it what
such
I have
type
on
of.
screen?
No, this is real fee. It was Riafino.
Ah, okay, so I need to search for that term, right?
Yeah, Riafino.
Okay, just want to make sure
Yeah, the first one.
the first one.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you click on the public testnet and light paper link, yeah. So it is available on a testnet. It is fully smart contract, and it is fully, like, the funds are in a smart contract. No one is holding the funds unless the crowdsourcing gets fully funded. The money doesn't move around, right? So this is one use case that I think next generation of Cardano funding should, how it should start, that anyone that wants to build on Cardano, right, he should first apply on such crowdsourcing funding platforms on Cardano, where if people really like the idea or want to use the protocol, right, they can give him funds if they find it useful to support the things moving forward. It can be funded through this way, and then the next step can be that the treasury comes into place, where we, once they have found a PMF, the protocol, we use the treasury funds to support them to grow into by subsidizing them or giving them loans, so that they can expand into the market and build more protocol, so that it can be used widely, right? Instead of until they find their own business sustainable revenue model. And that's where for me Riafino comes into
Okay.
play. And that is where, like, even our we have so many governance tools, right, that we funded, and were not passed last year in the fund, what do you call, in the treasury withdrawals, right? And not there was there any approach by anyone to ask for donations to support, those, like, hey, please support to donation for at least some amount of donation, 10,000 ADA or 20,000 ADA or certain amount, to keep those platform running, and not stop the governance, because it was the heavily used and dependent governance tool, right? So
Yeah.
even Tempo Votes wanted through Catalyst funding or through the TWA, but they were not supported. So it is, I think, important that we move forward with such initiatives that are already proven value in real world, and apply, Kickstarter is a very big industry and a company, right? So I think it is time that we focus on how to approach funding by not wasting treasury directly on experiments, but on product market fits that are generating business and building on-chain transactions. Uh, so that is what I
And
wanted to share, and it is on testnet, so you guys can check it out. And if you have
so
any feedback,
the ones on
yeah,
screen are happening on testnet?
yeah,
Or
this is on testnet.
okay, so these are all just sort of mocks, or do you know, because it seems quite diverse in terms of proposals here.
Yeah, they tried, like a mock-up,
Mhm.
because they the team that actually they met with a lot of people outside community, and like they wanted to understand what they needed, and they built upon those ideas to try it on. The thing is that they wanted to have the smart contract audited, but since the smart contract audit costs are way too high on Cardano, right?
Yeah.
They are still in testnet, but it is like it's fully functioning. They do not want to risk the user fund. That's why they were applying for the catalyst funding this round. But since it's on pause, they are thinking about how to get audited first, so
Yeah.
that it gets a there's no risk for the people that are using the protocol.
Okay, so I'm adding it to the board, and I'm gonna keep it in our notes. I can't vouch for the product. I wasn't aware of it, but
Yeah,
I've been mentioning it several times that we need to move away from asking for like treasury funding or grants and all that, and really try to make it so that it's the ones that believe in our project that sort of invest or donate to us. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. um, it's still quite like I'm not sure how established the business model would be and all that, but yeah, I'll leave it here, and let's come back to it eventually.
yeah,
Um, Maybe what we could do in a bit is welcome Caneric, and I'm gonna drop some links.
Hey,
Welcome, nice to see you here. All good?
thanks. Yeah. What's up? What's up? I guess I'm the apprentice here. First time in here. How you guys doing? What are you guys cooking on here?
Yeah, so these are just some voluntary calls that we started organizing. I mean, 45B, but mainly myself, and they're diversely themed around governance and funding on Cardano. I'm dropping on the chat the link to the Miro board if you want to jump on. If you want to edit, I can also grant permissions for you to edit on it. And there's also a Google Sheet that I've started like from scratch, and now I'm organizing a bit here. We've done 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th call. The calls are going to a YouTube playlist. There's a Luma calendar you can follow. There's the fireflies of the previous calls if you prefer to browse there instead of on YouTube. And yeah, what I was saying as well is here we have this sheet where you can sign up and you can share your links if you want to enable networking between people that come by, even if they are offset and not coming to the same call. And so last call was quite simple. I just had Mark from Upstream and Mustafa from Ghana. Mustafa was talking mainly about Catalyst, community reviews, and being moderated out of the current fund. Mark was talking a bit about voting and governance and incentivizing governance on Cardano. And today we have a few notes here. So that's what I'm going over very briefly. The main one for me would be to do an exercise of updating our board of governance tools. So this is something I've started when I was in the open source committee, and mainly it's my own initiative as well. So for all of the, or at least the ones that were back in May 2025, in our radar, we started inviting these tooling builders to the same call, hopefully to help them articulate with each other and get better visibility or of other people's tools, or even start networking to articulate their tools. So that's the intro that I can share.
Yeah,
I
nice.
know you're in the civics committee, right?
Yeah, I'm this Norwegian, a little bit all over the Cardano ecosystem as much as I can.
Mhm.
I have a long history in the, let's say, blockchain industry. Goes way back to the Bitcoin early days when you can mine Bitcoin on the computer and help build the
That's
community,
great. I wish we could still
here
do
in
that.
Norway. Yeah, let's wish we could rewind that a little bit more, like go back to time and just fire up a few more computers.
Mhm.
Nah, so I'm
Great.
here in the Corona ecosystem now, working on the beyond minimum viable governance.
Is it Intersect CC or is it just Cardano CC?
So they have put up some short letters, that is CCC, but it is Intersect Civics Committee. I guess
Okay.
that's the official name for it.
Okay. Drop us a link for people to find you in the sheet if you want. Like I said, they should be pinned on the Google Meets chat right now. And any other things that you may want to raise. We also have a quick column here to basically, it's a wall of lamentations type of column to say, okay, what's driving you or what are you engaged on doing currently? So just trying to create some kind of MO to go through the calls here. This point here, in terms of quick round of ecosystem updates and space to raise any other business, Gintama was already talking about crowdsourcing. And I wanted to just bring us up to this little section here that doesn't have concrete topics, but it's just like the checklist of ecosystem updates. So tooling reviews, we're going to be going over them in more detail just now. Ongoing governance actions for today, I wanted to use Mark's tool. So it's cardanoconnect.io. They finally have this on mainnet. And there are 3 governance actions that are pending voting at the moment. So this one, I think everyone's quite familiar with. So reduce the minimum constitutional committee size. This one it's like a rehash of a previous one, correct? And this one I think is no novelty as well. It's just a withdrawal. I'm not sure if anyone wants to talk about this or, so I see Sir Corin has his hand up.
I was just going to mention, because I'm not sure if a lot of people know it, but now that the transaction and block memory units proposal has passed, the reduced minimum constitutional committee size cannot pass. They are mutually exclusive the way they're written. So basically how it works is that every parameter change in Cardano has to reference the previous parameter change, and they both reference the same one. And so now the memory units one is the most recent. The Constitutional Committee one is completely invalid. There's no way it can pass.
So the memory units one was somewhere here.
It just ratified like a couple days ago or something.
Yeah, it's ratified
Okay.
on it's
It's this
enacted.
one. So these two are basically, yeah. Cool. That's good of you to point that out. And I'm not sure if people are aware. If there's no way, obviously, to, I don't know, nullify this one that's been submitted for voting on chain, but probably there's gonna be a next one to replace it. Yes, jump in.
Yeah, like Rian, can you explain it in easier terms for like to understand why this is not a constitutional action, the parameter of committee reducing the committee size?
I can explain it very shortly if you want to,
Yes,
Thomas.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when to not confuse the ledger with which parameter change that is actually going on, we need to separate them. And the way the ledger is built and does this is to reference to a TX hash from a previous approved parameter change. And what Utah did, he referenced it to the Plutus V3 TX IDE, which was the latest approved one. So that is the glitch. So basically what will happen is that the ledger will when it comes to, let's say, the logic on the ledger, it will see this parameter as invalid. It will not even, let's say, calculate the voting for the threshold, and it will just wait until another parameter that is what's it called, gas fee. Oh,
Memory
there.
units?
No, it's not memory.
Oh,
So
sorry.
basically, every governance action, it has a length that is valid. So that is currently 6 epochs, and the logic will that basically counts how many epochs it is something called gas fees. It's not gas fees. It has a more decent name, but it's basically the proposal runs out of gas. It runs out of steam, and then there is a flag that is put to false, and the deposit that you have put forward initially will be returned to the proposal. So basically, what happened.
So, like, was it in the first constitution that passed, or like, is it in the new one that passed?
So the one you see on the screen here is the one that has been enacted, and then the ledger see that as the newest valid parameter change. So when it's going to look into Utah's proposal, which is the mean committee size, it will see that, oh, it's referencing to a very old parameter update and just make it invalid.
No, no. What I meant to ask was that this condition that is happening right now, was it there in the first constitution that was passed last year, or like, is it uh, only in the Utah's constitution that passed now? Or like, is it same in both?
Yeah, so I'm not sure like I understand your question 100%, but basically the governance parameter change that Utah has references was a parameter update called Plutus V3. It is
No, no,
actually very old.
no, no, not that. I meant in the like what you're telling. It is written in the constitution, if I'm not wrong, right? The condition for not passing this.
No, it's not because
It's
the
not in the
constitution
Constitution.
changed. No, this is something to prior. I've made a note on the board. We're going to document it a bit, and let's come back to it on the next call, okay, Jintama?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
But it's not. It hasn't to do with the constitution changing. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, in terms of ecosystem updates, we have seen a bit what governance actions are up for voting. For Catalyst, I don't think there's any updates. Any other business? I saw someone discussing on Cardano over Coffee today that CBDAO maybe, in a round of funding. Does anyone know anything about that?
Yeah, they're in the round 2 funding now, which starting for a month, where they will now look at the proposals the CBDAO members are putting in, and also voting for inclusion of new members. I think a lot it's Walker's NFT project, BankFi, the bank tokens project, and I think it was also a CSwap something. They're adding
Okay.
3-4 members to the CBDAO. Like, I think we're voting on that, and also funding for round 2, and the KPIs like which will get proposed. It's still like it's live now, so we are now waiting for like what will get funded after. Like, it usually takes for them a month or something to discuss, debate, and take decisions. So yeah, it's starting now.
Okay.
That's as far as I know.
Yeah. Let's just make a note here, and anyone can explore as they prefer. So this is round 2 ongoing. I'm just going to leave this with a link to their website. I couldn't jump to their X or anything like that, but maybe I'll improve this asynchronously. And for anyone that wants to come by our board, they can follow up from there. The board, by the way, is quite disorganized because this is, I don't have much time to tidy this up, but I'm going to need to do some housekeeping soon because this is now one call late. These are not the topics for the next call. On the last call, we've also added some notes. We can clear this here, which was about the memory governance action. And yeah, so overall, I'm going to organize this a bit. And then eventually, I'm going to leave something like this kind of history with one block next to the other with what was discussed on previous calls and some notes from Firefly's recaps as well, if anyone wants to see it in that format. Like I said, since the beginning, we're trying to make sure that this initiative is useful in different formats, so not just on a live call, but also asynchronously and all that. Welcome, Quasar. Not sure if you want to add something very briefly.
No, not right now.
Okay.
But thank you for doing this, Lucas. Thank you very much. Sorry I was late.
Okay. No worries, no worries. I'm gonna add what you added to the chat here because I think it may help a bit. Okay. Thank you so much. So now, trying to keep to today's discussion topics. We've gone over most of this, and I think the main course of the day would be to revisit very briefly or like not so briefly, but on a high level, let's say, to break down the board that we had from the previous initiative of organizing governance tools, and at least start triaging the ones that are still live, the ones that have disappeared since May last year. And we've been adding here some of them as well. So Bagwell was here presenting his initiative. We have CGov that has popped up in the ecosystem, and eventually we could try to invite them over. So yeah. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is some show cooking here. And this is all old stuff from the original call. We had some contacts here. Like I said, I was reaching out to all these tool makers and inviting them to come to the call. So I'm going to leave this to the side a bit. This we can completely remove. I like to just have a second look before, so I'm going to remove it to like a bin on the side. So it's like our trash can. And I'm not sure exactly what these are about. So I'm just going to clear up some space here. And so now, starting with the main one, the usually most referred governance tool, it's not funded, right? So they're not really doing changes at the moment, correct? They passed on a governance action to get funded, but then the withdrawal failed, and that was it. Am I correct, or can anyone add anything?
Yeah, they're gonna go for a new one, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So I'm just going to put it to the side and going to drag drop a sticky here. So today I'm not going to go into all of these small things because the small stickies that we see in here were like for each tool author to come in and sort of declare the features, their core, their strong suits, and a bit more from the front end side, from the data side, from their business model angle, different angles. So I'm just going to add here. Okay, so they're going to try to go for funding from the Treasury again. Let's just try to look at the next one. So Ecclesia is basically an off-chain surveying tool. They're probably going to be around for, they're still in relationships with Intersect, I think, right? So they're going to continue to be the weapon of choice when there are surveys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Shintama, you don't need to raise your hand, just jump in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you. So about the Ecclesia thing, I think the budget committee uh, will be launching a new dashboard of types for the budget, upcoming budget, which they're working on.
Okay.
I think it is being funded by, I'm not sure it is CF or Intersect or it is a combined project, but Nicholas Son is leading it. Like he's kind of guiding the how it should look like. I saw it like in maybe 3 weeks ago in the budget call. I'm not sure what is the current status, but that will be the main platform for the budget submission. And they also have like 1,000. I'm not sure it is decided or not, but at the meeting they were talking that each proposer will have to put in 1,000 ADA donation to submit his proposal on the dashboard for a DREP to discuss and debate on. So it's
And
kind
you're
of budget
saying
term.
that's going to be running on what was Ecclesia?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Okay, so it's
maybe in
being used by the
conjunction with
budget.
Ecclesia, but it is complementing Ecclesia in a way. Like that's how it was told.
Or articulated by the budget committee. And you said like put in how much?
1,000 ADA donation fee, donation to the treasury, not to Intersect, to treasury.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. Let's not lose ourselves here. Let's just try to complete a full round of going over these other tools. Actually, looking at the overall section here, this was basically for us to analyze what the ecosystem needs. So not concretely what each tool is delivering or solving, but for us to see, okay, what are our needs before looking at a specific tool. So I'm just going to make it more explicit here. And that's it. And I'm going to leave it to the side as well. So here we have Cardano budget. I'm not sure if this one is still live. Just going to try to get to it. Okay. I remember this was when a person from Vietnam, I had to pair him with a friend from Vietnam because his English skills weren't so strong. And I see that they're still live. Like one of the points that I added to our notes is, although we have these tickies about what each tool can do, these small ones within here, it becomes like very troublesome if we want to go into that much detail. So I've noticed, for example, that CGov only does currently the governance actions, but not a DREP directory, and others may be stronger in that kind of DREP directory and not so much on the governance actions. So one of the actions I made a note of here in terms of updating our board of governance tools is that I'll start maybe on a Google Sheet, a matrix of features per tool. So this will be similar to what I was just describing. What tool is stronger on what feature? And for example, we just saw today, I was highlighting Mark's tool, CardanoConnect.io, that has this timeline, which can be really, really good to see the, time flowing through the proposals and vice versa. So that's one illustration of a feature that I don't think we see in much any other tool. So yeah, when I do that matrix, maybe I can go into this one and understand a bit better what their strong suit is. For now, let's just add them here to the batch of the ones that are still live. We also have Governance Space by Otávio from Brazil, community builder in Brazil. I know that they were building this for a long time, and I'm not sure how live it is, but let's have a look. I think almost all of these focus on listing the governance actions, and it's needs to be really useful or easy to understand where things sit in terms of voting. The detail here just isn't there. Apparently, they're not feature complete. Other features of discussion, I think they are basically what the ecosystem needs. Although even myself, we don't like to vote off chain and all that. But if we do it with signatures, it could be interesting. So I'm not sure exactly. I think this one was what Ecclesia did, and what I'm referring to now is basically what I just saw on Tempo that they have called temperature checks, I think. So maybe here I'm just going to bring it to the side as well and just add a note saying maybe not feature complete yet. Guys, I'm not really seeing the chat, so if you would help me by voicing anything that you want
Okay,
to
I
bring
would
to the
just
call.
you can make a placeholder for a new tool coming in that
Okay.
is CC election tool that is made by Intersect, and
Okay.
it's founded on the Cardano ballot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe I'll do this. I'll get one of these headings, drop it here, and paste in what you just dropped on the chat. And you said Cardano ballot. I'm not so familiar with that one, right? Is it based from Cardano ballot, you said?
It's a fork from Cardano Foundation's ballot.
Okay, yeah, and now I think it rings a bell. Anyone else? I think I heard a hand coming up.
I raised a hand real quick because I wasn't going to ask this. I'm going to anyway real quick. So Intersect is creating a competing Gov tool off Cardano ballot is roughly what I'm hearing there.
No, it's a fork. So it's using the technology that CF had developed, and they're basically going to create an implementation of it to do the CC election. For
I'll
future
see if I
CC
can find the
elections.
GitHub here. Hold up.
Okay. All right, great. No, I mean I'm pretty sure that I have the Cardano ballot GitHub, but please do share a link. I have a couple of questions that might be off topic. One, with the Gov tools not getting it got approved, but the withdrawal was not. Does anyone know for sure if the new constitution that you
It was
constitution?
unconstitutional. It was unconstitutional.
What was?
This is more than 5 minutes ago, Quasar. How am I supposed to remember? Let me check. There is a rationale for it.
So I didn't catch that. What is unconstitutional?
It's the treasury withdrawal that was
For
unconstitutional. I have to double check. Hold on. Maybe I'm just
okay. So
using
you
my
don't have to-
bad side of the brain and bad memory.
Okay, I don't want to necessarily spend time looking for it. What I was going to ask was, with the new constitution, you only have to put through the withdrawal, is my understanding. And if it's approved, there's not the two checks and balance, so to speak. Can anybody confirm that? And what is the timeline on submitting a treasury withdrawal request and it being approved?
Let me see if I can remember. So I have a horrible memory. That's bad design by mine, but I will try to recall. So there is a net chain limit set now, and they have accounted for, let's see, that treasury withdrawal. And they did one push for it, and it was unconstitutional. Or maybe I'm mixing that up with someone else. Okay, so I have to don't quote me on this one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do some research as well. The second thing I wanted to add here, Lucas, was I don't know if you've gotten to this part yet, but tools that were needed, or you're looking for what was desired. During the Constitutional Convention, there was the work streams and the constitutional debt, and one of those items was a community communications platform. I don't know if that's in there anywhere. I don't think that, I know there's not a tool.
Well,
yeah.
so Quasar, just to reintroduce you to the board here, this was all like put together, and there's a lot of new things here. There's a lot of probably things that we can get rid of here that have gone decommissioned or something. But this bit here is like what maybe you want to voice that on. So it's the ecosystem needs. So where these little 6 squares are for each tool concretely. So what does this tool do? Here you can add a big sticky to say what you just said.
Okay, wonderful. I'll do that in a moment.
Yeah, please. And again, if anyone is needing to have access to editing the board, please give me a nudge, and I have the account ready to approve any edit rights to the board. Okay, so while I was off screen, I organized these as on-chain, these as off-chain. So this is a CC election and Adam Dean's tool, Ecclesia. And now let's have a look at the next one in the list. So what is this one? I honestly don't remember. Sync AI. I don't remember who was doing this tool.
This is by Indian team led by Adnan.
Okay. So sorry guys, I sometimes juggle this really quickly, but yeah, I don't have it here. So maybe I'll follow up with you, Gintama, on the side.
Yeah,
if you could give me some, like, to get us in touch with them. Do you know? Yeah, it seems like a typical on-chain governance tool, right?
No, it is an AI tool where you can ask, they have an AI bot where you can ask it question about any DREP and it gets its answer. Also, it's like a social platform where if you connect your wallet, you are able to chat with your DREP and with the fellow delegators who have delegated to the same DREP. And so it's a something. It's more something social platform with more involved.
Okay, cool, great stuff. Now I have some thread to pull on to get in touch with them, because I just knew it existed and I wasn't aware of who's doing it. So the social part is really interesting to me. So because it could really help motivate, and we have, I think, too high of an abstention rate. This one, I'm not sure. I just wrote CF's new tool. I feel like this was yeah, it's like an aggregator, right? It's not actually a tool, it's just a listing as well, correct? Maybe you weren't aware of this.
They also have tool for DREPs.
Okay.
I will see if I can find a link for it.
There's DREP Collective. No. Yeah, this is one of the things that happened to me when I started doing my list. I found out that other people already have their lists, and so maybe that's what these notes were here, like lists of governance tools. Right. Now this rings a bell.
Just like on a side quest here. So what you guys actually doing here by putting, let's say, everything in a page is let's say it's friction in governance. that tools and websites, they are all over the place on the internet. And since I'm writing I'm going to write the recommendation for the Beyond Minimum Viable Governance, hopefully during April. That is, it's a huge friction for governance participation.
But are you saying that what we are doing is friction, or what?
No, it's right. It's
documenting
right.
Okay.
You are actually doing something
We're trying
that
to
by
tackle
research
that.
is identified as friction. So it's very good.
I'm not
And
sure
Ryan
who-
here is spot on.
Oops. Okay, so I'll just leave this block here, and Ryan, do you want to voice what you dropped on the chat, or is it just an aside?
No, I was just saying that I would like to see a lot of these governance features in wallets, because that's what the end user is going to be using. Like, not a lot of these, like, all these tools are great, right? But a lot of the users aren't going to just go to, the 11th tool that allows you to do XYZ governance stuff, because they're not plugged into governance in the first place because of the friction. But they are going to be regularly doing stuff in their wallet, maybe trading NFTs or who knows what. It would be nice if when I open my wallet, I see a notification, oh, my DREP voted on this, or I see an RSS feed of the latest proposals, or just some awareness that, hey, governance is happening. Just so it's like at least in the back of my mind as I'm a regular user, just knowing that these things are happening. I think that's way better, just targeting the wallets than necessarily building a bunch of extra website tools.
Yeah, so this is my answer to you, right? One of the things we've discussed here with Mark, for example, he was saying it's tricky how some tools are doing their math and other tools are doing, getting to different numbers. We discussed on previous calls that it would be good if everyone was transparent about, showing those numbers. And eventually, for example, I can think of Andamio, which is not a Gov tool, but Roberto keeps saying it's not just the app, it's a service. So you can use Andamio just through web services and all that. Dagwell?
So we're making, me and Quasar, one of the things that we're developing with the app that we're working on is it's like a asset anchor where you can choose your DREP and it'll automatically, load what they're voting on and their history and what they're currently doing. So that is all well and fine, but it's still there's still something that, listening to Ryan.
You're talking about this one?
Yeah, I was like, yes. I was like, okay, Ryan, we're getting in, that's sort of how I was thinking as well. I was like, I want someone to be able to load up the page, and be able to say, hey, listen, here's what you're looking for. But, and I'm like, right now, it'll work. It's fine. I'm just rebuilding the whole system right now so I can make it remember and upgrade as it goes. But we're still kind of in a trap, not really a trap, but it's still kind of like, hey, you still have to go to my site because I built everything around it. So yeah, you go to my wallet view. If you have that in your card, you can automatically click it and it'll pull up a dashboard. That's well and fine for going to Dagwall, and yeah, okay, everyone's going to my site, cool. But like, I really want these tools to be used outside. I want someone to be able to load something up and then to be able to, like, hey, if you look for this card and such, make it a standard or whatnot. Then you can find this information. I just think that that's something that needs to kind of be done. So Ryan, I'm with you, and I'm just trying to find a way to either make it on a standard, either make it a SIP, either make it like a prefix, use the government prefix or something. But it's not that hard to read metadata, but it is that hard, as we're finding out, to construct accurate queries that match everyone else's data. So if we could have like a kind of a schema or just something that gives back the same results in a format that allows, we should be able to have book chain or chain bookmarks. Like, bookmark your freaking DREP, go look at this asset, and it should pull up everything. That, Ryan, when I saw that, I was like, Ryan, that's what I'm doing. And I'm glad that someone else sees the need for that, because like you shouldn't have to look through the whole damn chain. So thank you, Ryan, for kind of confirming that thought that has value. I really appreciate that.
Just want to add on to that. So that is also something that I have identified as a huge problem in this ecosystem. So I don't know if you go to Coin Market, Cap, CoinGecko, AdaStat, we cannot even agree about how to calculate a circulating supply correctly. In the mandate for doing the state of governance on Cardano research, it's coming out. I think I hate to promise thing, but in very near foreseeable future, you will literally get the tooling needed and the scripts and the logic to actually measure governance correctly, and also find the circulating supply that is actually correct. And for those that read the framework, measurement framework, it's out there already. If someone wants to read, I can provide the link. But basically, the TDLR is that if you want to measure circulating supply, you need to use AdaPot when you do a dbsync query, because that's literally, Cardano is like a hybrid ledger, but like that. We have the UTXO, but they also have a part of it that is state-based. So whatever is state-based, that is not in circulation. It's not a UTXO. So that is one of those things I have to make a rationale for, and put like a common ground in the community that when you actually go to measure something. And the second one is we are seeing AdaStats, and those. If you see, there's a confusion there. Haven't been enacted now. Is it ratified? Blah blah blah. And this is basically because how they are querying dbsync. You will see different numbers on GovTools, AdaStat, C Explorer, and they have, let's say, their own, and it has three common flaws that way I have seen it. So first one, they are not, for DREFs, they are not measuring at the previous epoch boundary. Everything between epoch boundaries.
You're talking about these actual the big numbers that everyone's looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
Even
see there,
these are
like,
not.
yes.
Yeah.
Those are not correct, by my opinion. So first off, you have to remove always abstain, because they are not active voters, to put it like that. And then you have to figure out the correct circulating supply to get a percentage, right? And then secondly, when you are measuring, for example, DREP voting power, you can only measure that by the previous epoch boundary, always. In between is just statistically, let's say, directional correct, to put it like that, because as a DREP, you have the as an ADA owner, you have the possibility to redelegate to a DREP, and that calculation of voting power will only be enforced at the epoch boundary. That's basically how the ledger works. And for stake pool operators, you have to measure at epoch boundary +1, so basically 2 epochs behind.
Okay. So I'm
that's coming up in a zip
here.
In May. I'm going to provide a zip for you guys, and with all the logic and all the queries, and even how to actually set up a Cardano node, because even that is messed up in the community at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Wait,
stuff.
the node is messed up? Please don't play with my node. That's the only
how to set up.
He's be coming back, man. Don't play with my node.
Yeah. Please go to Cardano Foundation developer docs and just copy paste their their infamous. I don't hate on anyone, but I tried it. It didn't work, and I had to figure out the hard way how to actually do it.
Yeah. It didn't even. I now consider myself pretty proficient. I can run nodes. You know what I mean? I love them, man. So like, yeah, they're not the easiest to get a hold of, and it's in Hask, blah 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 blah. But I don't care what anyone says. It's been working since 1.28. I've been running this node, and they've been doing a darn good job of being backwards compatible and loading up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see, that's like, if that messes up, like, why would I stay on? Not me, you know what I mean. I love you guys, but I love that node, man. I really do.
Yeah. So the node thing is all cool and great, but if you want to come in, let's say from the EVM world or maybe the Solana world, or let's say just a junior dev, and you want to set up a node non-block producing, you are in a world of hate.
You know,
if you follow the tutorials and the YouTubes.
I wish I could say that you were bullcrapping, but unfortunately, I have to back what you're saying 100%, because I also have some EVM nodes and I have a Solana node running at the same time and do a little cross bridge action. They're so easy. It's just like, it's really like setting up like an NPM server. You just like run like a Fastify server for the most part and have the correct endpoint. So I wish I could disagree with you, sir, but unfortunately, experience is matching up.
Yeah, so that's I'm not gonna lie. I have been in some fight with some OGs at the IO regarding this. But it needs to be as simple as setting up CloudBot, to be honest. One-liner, that would be like fantastic.
And that is true. And you know, you get close with some Docker stuff. If you are comfortable with Docker, you can get some one runs, and I'm not mad at that one bit. But yeah, for cross compatibility, when setting up a node, and don't get me wrong, now you can do the binary. You can just get the binary, add it into your path. You're pretty much good to go. But still, that is a little bit of a depart from where you can just kind of load an already pre-configured server. So we are finding there's a little bit of, and that's why for me, it's important on focusing on the infrastructure in the background to be able to provide, hey, here's an API access to this. But ultimately, if they're like I am, they're going to want to have control over it eventually to really understand it.
Yeah, I will feed you guys all the stuff that I have made as soon as. So the thing is that everything that I do, IO, when they put their name on it, so they don't have any influence, let's say, on the research and my sources and how we came about making the KPIs and stuff like that. But they are like auditing with their technical guys that, oh, you're actually done the right thing. And it's actually this round for this milestone it's not even gonna be Intersect, not even IO. So I don't know who's gonna audit it, but someone. Is it you, Quasar? Can you audit?
I mean, I'll do it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. God damn it, you do it anyway. Maybe I can suggest your name.
Hey, will you search for a DREP, Pedro, and see what it's bringing back? Because I kind of like this. This is cool.
Where on this one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try this. I know that they had one, and then they went down. So I was looking to see if the decommissioned one would appear. This one doesn't seem to be the search functionality doesn't seem to be making much sense.
Well,
it's not getting.
It looks like they're making you do the DREP, the number, the hash to search.
Yeah, yeah. This, as far as I know, this was funded to Endmaker it was funded by Catalyst to the Endmaker team to build, and it seems to have some things here. The concept seems to be nice, but I don't think much anyone is using it, and I think it's missing a bit, in terms of the UX. It was basically.
You know what I mean? Like, I know you're a big interface guy, and that interface is not inviting to me. It's not saying, hey, this is how you use me. It's not giving me any of that. It's just like something about DREPs. And so,
Yeah. The thing is, for example, this catalyst proposal, the value it's yielding so far is not so much. And the one that, like, if these guys don't want to continue improving it, the most value it brings is by us reverse engineering, seeing the concept and building it again or incorporating it in another tool. So, yeah, let's see how it develops. I'm racing through as you guys are chatting because I wanted to cover both, like all of these, yeah, especially get to the new ones and all that. So Catalyst, for example, we know it's not governance; it's more like on funding, but the dynamics are quite similar in terms of when it gets to voting and all that. Not to mention meritocracy and reviews and that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna add a section here, which is something that we didn't have. As you saw, everything was mixed together. So let's add a section here for funding focused and bring Catalyst over here. And maybe we can also eventually start looking in that spirit to CBDAO and anything else that comes up. So there we go. I'm just cutting and pasting it across. Here, the same kind of discussion. So it's more like membership focused. And I'm gonna drop it here. So this is similar to the CC voting and all that. Gonna paste it here. If that's
For
okay.
DREP watch, their
Pedro,
API v1 DREP indexer, that's dead. So that's why it's buggy. So some backend issue there.
Which one? Sorry.
Oh no, for DREP watch, I just
Ah.
looked at so they have an
You're
indexer.
inspecting it. Yeah.
Yeah, over API that is that.
Okay, and I see Gintama dropped something on the chat as well. Is that what you're
yeah,
up to?
yeah. So this is one link shared by Nicholas about supply.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to share that if you type ryp.io,
If I type what?
ryp.io,
YP.io.
yp.io. Yeah.
I'm just going to copy these to the side and drop it on the standards section. Thanks for this. And what is this?
This
Is this
was
what you meant?
built by Neil's Code, the Hazelnut bot. This is where you can connect your WhatsApp, Telegram, and get any governance related email or WhatsApp message. And it was built by our community.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the person. Looks good.
So the only cool thing about the Cardano supply thing is that there are unclaimed deposits that they don't show. But oh wait, it is there. Never mind. They figured it out.
So I'm going to add it here in the center where we were talking about standards and all that. So you can follow up from there. And it's good. Apparently, Kinetic can, you can contrast things and try to reconcile a bit your views with what's there. And then for the one that, sorry, let me just close this one. What else do I have here? This one. So I'm going to add this one that you were talking about, Chintama, to the community-focused ones. So the RAP ecosystem membership. I think there was one. Let's drop it here in terms of like community. It's basically tooling, but it could be interesting. So see if I can just do this. Drop it here and paste it in.
Pedro, I asked for editor rights on the mirror board.
Let me just refresh on my other window. And by the way, I usually go by Lucas. It's my surname. Everyone calls me Lucas, except my mom.
Lucas. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm giving access to Canaric now.
Sorry for that.
Did not sound right. I was like, I'm reading it, but that doesn't sound. All right, look, it's all coming together now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. Okay, we're almost done. I'm sorry we're over time already. So this one is by Sir Corin, and can you tell me? I'm just going to cut it from here. From the sections we have already. Do you want to point me to a specific one, or?
I'm not sure. You can put it wherever you feel like. Right now, it's just complete vaporware. It's like a concept, so I haven't built anything yet. But it's definitely something I want to.
Funding. No.
Yeah. It's meant to crowdsource proposals for parameter changes, because right now there is, as far as I know, not a single governance tool that allows you to submit parameter changes by a front end. All right, GovTools doesn't do parameter changes. I don't think any of the other ones. So the only way to submit a parameter change governance action is via the CLI. Yeah. And then also the other thing is collecting all the data that goes into a parameter change, debating it, and doing all that stuff. There's a whole huge process that leads up to it. So this whole idea is to fast track that process and get something on chain for people to vote on in as short amount of time as possible.
You don't have a link for now?
No, it's literally just a Figma diagram, so nothing's hosted yet.
Okay. But
Ryan, can I give you a tip?
Sure.
Currently there is, let's say, some fumbling because in regards to scheduling and, let's say, putting space for different a governance action calendar would be nice if we could dream about that. But yeah,
you said governance a calendar?
Actions in general.
Yeah,
not just
calendar. So like you can. Okay. We know. I know there's gonna be like info action for the budget. I know there's gonna be the part 2 of transaction byte memory, and then there was this DAO thing here that I'm aware of so far. And then, if I remember, I believe, and I know Utah correctly, he's gonna put forward a new parameter. I mean, committee size. Yeah. So a calendar.
The TSC is also going to do that. Was also going to do the min committee size before he did. So I don't know. And there's also part 2 of the part 2 of the Plutus execution limits that's got to go up. So there's a whole bunch of parameter changes, and then the incentives working group that I'm part of has like several more parameter changes we want to do. So it's going to be busy.
A calendar would be nice because then we don't need collusion.
No, I completely agree. And a calendar is probably a simple thing to do too.
I'm not sure I understood that correctly, but I know that Tevo is also building, well, maybe not also because you're talking about a different thing, but I added here on the community side calendar tool by Tevo, which has a lot to do with coordinating the community. It's just a tool. It's not going to be, the end all be all, but I think it could be really useful for a lot of communities to share what they're doing. So, and not like try to manage overlaps, let's say. Yeah, Jintama, jump in.
Yeah, on the we have the community feedback, or in the option in the mirror board that you made. I'm not sure a requirement there. I was thinking that one thing that we require is that all these tools that we have here, are not easily available to people who don't use the chain actively. That they may be involved in Cardano just like once a month, or once when they check something on their wallet or not. So something needs to be done that all these tools that are being made are easily available either inside wallet, or in some way that people know, like if I want to see something, where do I go first? Something like because if you remember, like 2 weeks ago, when the Cardano Japanese community, right, they were speaking up about the problems they have. At that point, they were like, even if you want to change our DREPs, we don't know which tools to check website to look into. So maybe that is something that we need to focus.
Yeah. Okay, so we've been adding that. What you said, in a way, it relates with notifications. It relates with having things in wallets, and so Corinne had already mentioned it to be added here. So yeah, I'm just going to add here to consider, like, say, intermittent ADA holders, users, let's say.
And on a side note here, just I know Quasar are gonna love this one. So I've been very eager to figure out a way to track treasury spending and catalyst spending. And I have a friend. He's not so. Let's say he's still an apprentice developer of Cardano, but he has actually started building a way of tracking Catalyst Fund 2 to 9, and we are all the way up to 13 now. And we can see wallet correlations, and you can actually see where funding goes after the treasury withdrawals. So let's say it's a chain analytics for treasury funding for Cardano. I know you're gonna. It's gonna make your job much easier, Quasar. And Tulu, what's the name? The turtle.
Okay. Gov, everyone probably has realized it exists. I think it's an interesting project. Eventually, it's one of the ones that I feel need this kind of template here. So I'm going to just copy it over and eventually work on it a bit. Ideally, the people filling this in would be the owners, the tooling makers, not us, or myself in this group, but yeah. Quasar, any feedback to Caneric?
No, Kenrick, thank you. I'm definitely interested in that. Feedback to the community. Why is all of the metadata on the treasury withdrawals, everything, why is our metadata so horrible? Like there's nothing that you can find in the metadata. It's very so sloppy. And we've had 2 years to be working on this stuff. I don't get it. So that's it for me.
It's not even I send Alice something to Bob, or it's not even like that.
Okay. So this little note here, sorry, yeah, there we go. I'm messing things up. Okay, that one went through. This little note here is about Circarian has a SIP to allow SPOs to vote with the Calidus key. I'm just going to bring it over to the on-chain section as tooling. Maybe create a section here, on-chain tooling. And there we can add this one there. And also this one that I was moving across when you guys were talking. It seems to be Thomas from the Nordic Pool, I think, created something just to create governance actions. So I'll add it to this new section, and because I think it fits quite nicely. Although it's ironic that where this one is for SPOs and it's a bit of a niche, this one should be something that, like derep registering and updating and all that should be in the default, Swiss Army knife of GovTool. Guys, again, if there's anything on the chat that you're dropping that you want to bring attention on screen, let me know. I see here, I'm going to bring it over. It's exactly in the same spirit, right, Ryan? A SIP.
Say again.
I was asking about what you just dropped on the chat.
I'm dropping all sorts of stuff in chat. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
I would like
If-
the record to show that Ryan is worse than me about dropping links and chats. So he worst is best. I appreciate
When
I-
I'm not hosting, I also do that. So.
If only you could see the amount of browser tabs I have open at any point in time.
Yeah. I found myself with 16 screens on Ubuntu, just juggling between them and all that. So.
Yeah, so I have a 49-inch super ultra wide right here I'm looking at, and I have a bunch of another monitor and a bunch of laptops, so I'm decked
Yeah.
out. The
Okay.
only way I can get stuff done.
But yeah, just keep in mind that I'm doing my best to add things to the board so we can go back to it and keeping some quadrants here that everyone can relate to and browse. Anything that you don't highlight for me to drop on the board is eventually going to be lost in the chat. So
Gotcha.
if
Another
you-
one I dropped is a SIP to delete the NCL as an info action and make it a parameter.
Okay. This is
I think that one's
probably-
actually probably more relevant to most people, and I think most people would really like that one. Because then we don't have to keep voting on NCLs and then arguing about if the CC has to vote on NCLs and which one is current and how long they go for. Like none of that would be a question. The CC wouldn't even have to vote on it anymore. It would just be a parameter, and if we want to change it, we change it, and then we never have to think about it again.
See, putting me out of work instantly. The first day I come in here. Thanks, Ryan.
Right? We're trying to reduce governance friction, so that's like
Yeah.
you don't need the part, delete the part. That's step one. Step one of the
Yeah.
5-step process. I think
I
it's
totally
step one.
agree.
It's going to be a problem on this board eventually to start decluttering things, and I already feel tempted to remove all these 6-pack of squares that are around here. But yeah, it's just let's iterate on it.
It's part 2.
Okay, last one before we close at least this sprint of cleaning up the house. Sunday Swap co-sponsoring for a governance action. I think this is recent, right? So I'm just going to bring it over to the tooling as well. I think we're starting to have a number of different things like this.
Even the one by Sedan Lab, they're also building a crowdsourcing governance action in the CGov website.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think at least we went through all of them, and it helped refresh everyone's ideas about stuff. The only one that's offline apparently is Unpopular L, but this was just an experiment. I remember it had a nice UI, but yeah, you can only do so much as you're like experimenting. So any thoughts before we close? Anything that we didn't mention? Any Gov tool?
I might just add to CGov. They have a very interesting GitHub. I know they are cooking on some stuff there. For example, crowdfunding.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that as well. I'm just going to go to their website, and
it is in the bottom there.
Do you mean like the GitHub part?
Yeah, and you will see that they have the governance crowd fund. Very, very simple one. Very, very simple one. But it's for those who are eager to build something in that direction. Also a large friction when it comes to participation in governance.
For the governance action deposit. Cool. Yes, I had looked at this page, and I think I made a note of it.
It's very, very simple. It's creating Aiken mints provider token, and you burn and redeem it after 60 bucks.
Okay, so I'm going to add this link here on the, let's say, heading for them, and I'll add the other one in a sticky on the side. I'm messing all this up. There we go. And this one, I'll remove the crowdfunding. This one. Drop it here. And get the link to drop over it as a link. Okay, cool. Thanks. Actually, let's duplicate this because it could be relevant to bring it here as well. And yeah, I think that's enough for now. But let me just zoom out and go to today's topics again to close. And where are we? Here we go. Yeah, so let's leave this one for the next call. I'm going to copy it over. Actually, I'm going to cut it from here. And we had a section here for next call where we had noted talk about ecosystem needs, and I'm going to add this one here, talk about alternatives for getting governance tooling builders funded.
And a word of thought for everyone. So currently, Intersect internally are working on, let's say, a budget, and that also goes for the civics committee.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to Intersect is not able to, let's say, provide the complete full funding, but if there was supposed to be a grant for something in relation to governance, that reduce friction, that makes governance easier, or something that you spot, please let me know. My DMs on X is open if you have any good idea. But it has to be a grant available for everyone to apply.
Okay. I'm making a note on today's points, today's minutes, let's say.
And Intersect just released another grant from the product committee. Hold on, I will see if I can find it for you guys. So it's not directly at governance, but hold on, I will see if I find it.
Okay.
Hey, Eric, while you're searching for that, may I ask you a question, or should I wait?
Go ahead. I will try to multitask. So I'm not going to try to impress anyone, but I might try.
If this isn't the right time, Lucas, just let me know. I'll do it later. Okay. So the budget that you had mentioned there, Eric, I believe that's the one that I picked up in the civics committee 2 weeks ago or something, and it's the letter going out to each committee asking them to put together budgets. Now my question here is that to be put onto a proposal for the ecclesia type omnibus funding, or is it a standalone, or where's that stand, if you know?
So I don't have. So the thing is, so I was literally thrown into the chair as chair for the civics committee 1.5 weeks ago because Nico needed some time off to do his things, and then Thomas went on a vacation, and then Lally went to Nairobi. So I'm just let's say swimming as everybody else. But here is my conception of the idea. So internally in Intersect, they are going to put forward a budget. And it says in the guidance that the committees will be put forward as the proposer. And then there is a bunch of limitations, like we don't.
I saw the what the user funds and everything. Yeah,
exactly,
I was just wondering Like,
And the process is, of course, of absolute urgent as usually. This needs to be in place, like at least the headliner, at the end of February, and then during March somewhere there's gonna be some on-chain action. Okay. I don't think they are able to, let's say, cope with this timeline, but yeah, they want to have treasury withdrawals available in June, July. So if you have a info action probably with different budgets, I don't think they need to, but they are actually doing the same thing. And maybe there's the infamous meetings with Lloyd before that again, and then the treasury withdrawal. And just to be assured, let's do something on Ecclesia while we're at it. I'm not judging that's not the purple, but that's at least that's a budget according to the constitution.
thank you.
Okay, guys, just closing up. I'm still, like I said, improving the typical MO for the calls. I wanted to add here a section around like how to stay in touch, and I'm gonna write it up in a second. Long story short, one second. Long story short, join our Discord. I still have it somewhere around here, but you can find it very easily here. Discord channel. Our Discord server is linked here as well. There's a YouTube channel where all these calls are going unedited because there's no budget to go and clip them. And there's a Luma calendar that you're encouraged to subscribe. I always highlight that Luma is not so good in sending you an email every time we create a new call. So maybe you want to click this and add it to your Google Calendar so that when we create a new call scheduling, it will pop up on your calendar for you to sign up. But please don't forget to sign up as well, because it helps us understand a bit who's coming and so what we could hope to do with people participating. I think, yeah, that's what I can share for now. In terms of the next call, speaking of it, we try to do it every Epoch. But we also try to do it every Monday so that we don't have to continue going back and forth. So whenever there's an Epoch that is going to elapse between our calls, like it's going to happen with 60, sorry. So this one is this one is the end. So Epoch 615 is going to happen during next week. So on the next Monday, I'm going to propose that we do a quick call on the next Friday, just an extra thing, just to look at the governance actions. Apart from that, we'll always be here Mondays at 4:30 p.m. UTC. Okay.
And in the chat, I finally found it in my log history here. Product research initiative definition grant. You guys can have a look at it.
So this is where so this is about the grants that you were talking about, right?
This is the grant from the product committee that I got a link for it.
So is this the one about reducing friction on governance related topics, or?
No, that is the one
sure.
I have to make for civics committee.
And where does this one, the product one, fall in terms of what we were talking about?
So in my head, I thought that this might be, let's say, in the scope for this group to know about at least, because it follows the Cardano vision. And when it comes to DREPs there, to product, Cardano product vision, the only thing mentioned there is like DREP incentivization.
Okay.
In regards to governance, though.
Okay.
I haven't read everything here and accepted criteria and stuff like that.
I'm gonna leave all this as a link.
Have a look at it. It might fancy some of you.
Well, I'm curious about this part because that's sort of what we're doing here as well. But I'm not sure how it would fall or not in to the remit of this budget part. Okay, we're a bit over time. Maybe let's have a look at it asynchronously and come back next week with feedback. Like I said, drop us messages on Discord. Meanwhile, if you have anything to raise or, you know,
I found it. So the goal here with this is easier to build on and to use Cardano. Problem to solve: how might we reduce barrier and simplify process for using and building on the Cardano blockchain? And governance is part of that, by my opinion at least. So read through it.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna follow up on the next call then. Okay, because we're quite over. We were meant to do 60 minutes. We've done 90 already.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
See you next
Bye-bye.
week. Take care.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Lucas.
Cheers, mate.
Yep.